Hey everyone, how are you doing? Can you actually hear me? My mic is not showing up on the thing right now. Let me know if you can hear me, people. Oh crap. Can y'all hear me? Okay, good. It's coming through. Cool. All right, the mic little thing here that says it's registering is not doing its thing again, so you know how that goes. I always have to make sure. Good to see everyone. Perwin, good to see you. Jade, thank you for making it. Maria, good to see you. Dragon of the West. Arter, Lady Sephonaria, and Violet Star. Welcome. We already got a full house in here. Probably got a few more people trickling in. We are moving closer and closer to reaching our goal of getting enough channel subscribers or Patreon members in order to actually get this channel to the point where we can attempt to do ad-free content, which would be really, really great. Um, that would be an amazing goal. So if you've considered joining and haven't, by all means do. But if you'd like to support the channel, but you don't want to, do monetary support, you can always just hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. That helps us greatly as well. Let's see. What else do we got going on here? I am supposed to remind everyone, very, very, very important, next Friday, Jay does have a live um, crystal magic workshop happening over at workingdragonmystic.com. The seats are limited, so make sure you sign up. It is next week. You do need to make sure you're signed up for it. In order to participate, it is via Zoom, so make sure you do have the ability to use Zoom. And there's the link. So yes, make sure if you are interested in crystals or crystal magic, that is a great workshop to attend. So yeah, there we go on that. Karina, welcome. Good to see you. Let's see. Oh, we also do have a gilded community. Somebody said I didn't mention that last week. I thought I did. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch. We do have a gilded community. There should be a link in the About section if you're interested in joining. Pretty good community. A lot of good chatter happens over there. Nice place. We enjoy it. Let's see. What else is there? So many of you have been enjoying the roundtable content that we started releasing as testing for Friday videos. As you all know, the Havamal will eventually run out, so we can't just do Havamal videos every Friday. However, myself, Halloween, and Jade have actually enjoyed getting together for the Havamal and having these discussions. So we are going to actually look at adding other topics into the roundtable, such as paranormal topics, talking about cryptids, any random topic we can think of that a group conversation might be neat to film and put up there. So keep your eyes out for that. We should actually be seeing one of those, I think, this next Friday because it's not a Havamal week. And I have gotten a few questions. Will we read other things from the Poetic Edis? We are looking at doing that for sure. Some of them don't quite read as smoothly as others, so we'll have to see how that works. But we are looking at doing that, and we are looking at adding some more content. As many of you saw, I did a short earlier this week talking about some of that. Seems like there's something else I'm supposed to tell you, and I just can't think of it right now. So we're just going to move on. And if it strikes me in the back, oh wait, yep, I remembered it. I just remembered it. So big deal. Many of you have asked many times whether or not I would put any of my courses into a book format. I have made the statement that it's something I'd like to do. Didn't know if I could do it. There was a lot of uncertainties around that particular project. However, as of this week, it looks like it is something we will be able to do. We do not have a time frame on how it will be released or accomplished if we can actually pull this off. Some of the things that I'm wanting to do to compensate to make sure things are okay, I'm actually wanting to include demonstration videos, perhaps with either an internet link or even one of those little I don't know what they got a fancy name. It's a square thing you scan with your phone and it'll play a video. You all probably know what it is. I've been told there might be ways to incorporate something like that into both the physical and the digital version of the book. Oh, there's Jade. Thank you, Jade. She's the one who keeps me talking like I know what I'm doing when it comes to technology. It's a QR code. So I'm really wanting to do something like that because, in my opinion, if I can describe the ritual in the book and have the demo, I think we would really get a better product, possibly. So that's something we're going to try and do. So we are actually looking to finally do some book publishing as you all have requested. Just be patient with me. We've managed to get over the first few hurdles, and now we're literally looking at the production hurdle, which is a big one. So just bear with us. We have no concept of date, but you guys have been asking me about it, and I wanted to let you know it is in the works. So stay tuned for that. Okay. Let's see. Tuesday's video also. We got a video coming out Tuesday that is going to be, many of you have jokingly asked me to do a conspiracy video. Well, there's a conspiracy that came across my desk not long ago, and I just couldn't help it. I had to do me a video on it. And yes, some of you already know, especially the channel members, already got to see a screenshot where I actually had a tinfoil hat on. So though it is indeed a serious topic, we did try to have a little fun with it. So bear that in mind. Lilith, hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Mugs up. Oscar, good to see you as well. So I think that's just about got us. Other than that, I want to thank everyone for their positive response to last Tuesday's video. That was definitely a hard topic to do because, so many people can get uncouth about certain topics really quick and really easily. And I wanted to attempt to do that video and do it justice and not to step on too many toes while actually putting the information out there as best I could. And hopefully I made the channel's stance in such a topic clear. So far, I've not gotten any comments to the likes that it wasn't made clear. So I do want to thank everyone for that and for emails and comments and stuff like that remaining positive. I admit, I was really worried about that video. I really was. This day and age, stuff gets weird. So thank y'all for that. All right. So that's pretty much the down low on what we've been having go on here. If you are here though and you'd like to, you like what we do, give us a thumbs up. Shows we got 21 people in here. Hit that like button. YouTube loves the like button. It lets them know you like the work we're doing and the content we're doing. The algorithm eats it up. So make sure you smash that like button if you are in here watching the live stream with us. So, Jade, am I forgetting anything? I don't remember. I think I got everything. I really, really do. To the roundtables, I will say I'm hoping to actually do like maybe a 3 to 8 minute short videos talking about some of the cases and whatnots that I've worked in the past, sharing some of those things that really wouldn't make a full video, too much for short, but something a little more casual content. Jay, I think you got it all. Woohoo! Look, I got it all. How about that? Hey, Diana, good to see you. Glad you can make it. We do. I've seen a lot of great new members popping up, commenting on videos. The channel is growing. It's amazing to see. So yeah. Evelyn, welcome. Going to be a busy night, I have a feeling. With that, I think all the yammering and announcements are generally out of the way. So I've personally been working on some of my own private research. Also been getting into a bit more of trying to build a workout routine, or well, I should say not routine, habit. I'm really focusing on the habit. I've found that I fell out of the habit, so I'm really trying to focus on building that habit back up, which I'm having a lot of great progress with already. So that's a good thing. JK, good to see you, or GK, good to see you. Um, let's see. And I've actually been a little surprised. So over like the last 2 weeks, I've been getting a lot of messages and emails telling me, whatever you're doing is working. You're looking better and better every week, which appreciate it, really do. Um, and I've gotten a lot of comments. Apparently, I have a really large metaphysical following of people who do keto. Don't know how I pulled that off, but many of them are asking if I do keto and or if I could do keto kitchen witchery videos. And I'm not laughing at the question. I am not laughing at the question. Not, not. But I never actually thought about gearing a kind of metaphysical concept that direction. It's something that I'm going to have to consider. I am. I did not realize how many of you um, follow keto, ketovore, carnivore lifestyle choices, or whatever you want to call it. So I may do some shorts or some short videos talking about it. I don't want to take up the normal Tuesday video slot. That Tuesday video slot is very important. It's what's pretty much built this channel. Well, it is the channel, really. So there we go. So, Maria, someone mentioned the abyss in the server. What exactly is it? Well, the abyss is a term that's utilized differently in different areas in different traditions. Some people will even use the term abyss in the Tree of Life, which some people refer to the void and the abyss as quasi interchangeable there. And then there's the abyss that people refer to as one of the more chaotic planes. And you will find a lot of, I guess, what people might refer to as traditionally demonic entities in the abyss. So you'd find, Azazel, Belial, Lucifer, Lilith, Nama, Adam Belial, Abaddon. You could find these entities there as well. Think Cliff-Arctic tree entities. And since the abyss itself has such a raw, unshaped, chaotic energy about it, it takes whatever you bring in with you and beats you over the head with it about 100 times. So it's not exactly a casual thing you wander into or spend time in. And you definitely don't want to be working in there if you've got other issues going on in your life. You want to make sure you've got your stuff shored up before you go in there, because it's going to hand you something when you get there. And there's really no way to prevent that. That's not to say it's a bad place. Let me make that clear, because many of you know I've worked through the cliff off. So I've spent a lot of time in realms that would be categorized in this area. So it really depends on the tradition and practice, but even from a void standpoint, it's going to hit you with whatever you take in there, and sometimes more, considerably more. But most people will encounter it through the Tree of Life or the Cliff-Arctic tree. It's not a random place where people just wander willy-nilly. You do see a lot of people using that word to represent anything that they think is edgelordy, or almost any plane that almost has fire or darkness in it, they will refer to as the abyss. It's an overly used term these days, sadly. I actually know one practitioner who's about 16 or 17, and to hear him tell it, he's a master in everything occult, even though he's only been practicing for 3 years. So, and he actually thought the elemental plane of fire was the abyss. So, um, yeah, you got to be careful with some of those things. And at the end of the day, do your research. Look at the particular path you follow, and how your path, if, like, say, you're following Gardnerian Wicca, how do they view it? If you're following the Tree of Life, what is the particular path of the Tree of Life you're on? How do they view the abyss? All those different things. Look into how they view it, because you got to make sure when you're using it, you're talking about the same place. Some magicians use it very differently. Hope that helps a little bit. Dragon, you can reshape your sanctum at will. It's yours. Just whatever. If you have a castle one day and decide you want to kiddie pool the next, you can do it. Whatever floats your boat. Hey, Jedi, good to see you. Is it safe to dedicate an object to an entity that you carry every day? Well, honestly, in general, I would say yes, but it also depends on the entity. Because if you dedicate an object to an entity, that entity's energy, and however it affects its surroundings, will be around you 24/7. So if you're worried about the entity being unsafe, don't do it. If it's an entity you trust, want in your life, and want around you 24/7, no harm. Because if you don't even need to dedicate an object just to have the energy around you. Because if if you're working with that entity, it'll be there anyway. So that's kind of the kicker. Be aware that the object will reflect the entity you dedicate it to, and thus that energy will 24/7 be of effect on you while you carry it. Um, so I have seen this go very, very badly for some, because there are some entities, dragons included, you do not want their energy around you 24/7. Um, they will wreck things, period. Um, so it's more about the entity, not the practice. The practice itself, generally, it's fine. Um, so yeah, I hope that answers your question there a little bit, Jeremy. No problem, Maria. No problem. I know the abyss don't get really talked about a lot, usually. Let's see. Let's see. And Komodo, hey. Great to see another stream. Hopefully things have gone well thus far. Yep, things have been going pretty good, Komodo. Pretty good here, gotta admit. Um, Finally starting to cool off around here. Last, what is it? I'd say month. It's been intolerably hot and humid, both. So, Diana, dragons are dangerous to work with? Question. No, no, don't take the comment wrong there, Diana. Dragons, in and of themselves, aren't dangerous. They will seek to help you, but there are certain aspects of them, as they are very primal beings, that we need to be aware of. Now, if you're working with earth, air, fire, and water, the four lower elemental style dragons, you're not going to have any issues. No issues, as long as you're respectful with them. They're they will challenge you. There's no doubt. Anyone who's taken Dragon Magic 101 knows they will challenge you. In Dragon Magic 102, you're still working with the first four elements, and they take that challenge to a whole new level. Is that dangerous? No. Is it hard work? Yes. But anything worth doing should be hard work. I mean, you grow through hard work. That said, some of the upper air elemental dragons, they will throw a lot at us. And if you are not prepared to deal with what they're going to throw at you and create those changes, it can get potentially dangerous, but it would be by your own doing, not their doing, because you're the one that stepped into the storm, as it was. The two that get the worst reputation for this would be the Maelstrom dragons and the Chaos dragons because of what their very nature is. So the Maelstrom is raw, unchecked change. It is constant motion. Anything that is stagnant, anything that's moving, anything that's not serving you and the goals you're trying to meet, it will try to move it. And it will do whatever it has to do to move it. And it will pound against it like a hurricane against a piece of paper until it either breaks it and flushes away the trash, or it moves it. And there is no halfway. You face the storm head on with the Maelstrom. This is why it gets a very bad rap. Most people don't want to face it. Most people don't want change. And the more you fight it, the more dangerous it gets, period. And then chaos, most people want to think of chaos as Marvel's Loki, ooh, practical jokes, and woo. No. Chaos dragons are the dragons of literal destruction and creation, which means they create any change in your life through destruction. If you want a chaos dragon to create this, it will destroy this. It will always create and destroy at the same rate. Always. And you don't necessarily get to pick and choose. Because if you say, hey, Mr. Chaos Dragon, I would like to manifest this in my life, it will take the most direct route for you to grow and achieve your goal. And in doing so, there may be a lot of things in that pathway that you didn't consider that are preventing you from getting there. And you told it to get you there, so it's just going to destroy those. So those are energy patterns that you could see why having those around you 24/7 can be a bad thing, because through your daily life, idly, without being focused and aware of what you're doing, yeah, those could cause some problems, definitely. Even for the highly experienced practitioner, they can, very much so. In fact, that's the reason there's so many warnings about contacting that style of dragon. You cannot even contact them without the energy affecting your life. It's kind of that rough. And I've had plenty of people message me saying, oh, Drake, you overreact. I contacted so and so. I've been working with them for the last 3 months. It's been fine. And then a month later, I get a message about how their life just went. So, if that makes sense. Can you dedicate one object to multiple entities? Yes and no. Here's the kicker, Jeremy. So if you wanted to dedicate a item to like the Norse pantheon as a whole, or the Azir or the Vanir, not specific entities themselves, just the Azir or the Vanir, the grouping, you could do that. But if you're dedicating it to that group of entities, for example. But if you're going to dedicate it to specific entities, like Odin, Thor, Freya, Loki, without dedicating it to the group, you need different objects because you're dedicating it to that thing. If you dedicate it to Odin and then give it to Freya, it really wasn't dedicated to Odin to begin with, remember? Because, yeah. Dedicating it is literally you make a dedication of it is set aside for them. So, yeah, you got to be a little careful with that one. Shadow work is kind of part of what they will trigger. Some dragons will actually stir up the shadow work, but at the same time, shadow work can actually make it worse if you're doing shadow work and fighting the changes they're bringing. Shadow, even if you complete all your shadow work, you still can't reduce the energy that flows in. But if you want to learn to work with dragons at that level, go check out our courses at workingdragonmystic.com. Click the online school. Dragon Magic 101 and 102 are currently published. They're two massive path workings. Each one will take you nearly a year. And then before you finish those two, you will easily we're going to have Dragon Magick 103, which is going to specifically be focusing on those higher rulers. So those are your best bets. At this point in time, I've not found any books or anything that actually details and covers those. Even DJ Conway flat out admitted she was afraid to even put what little information she put about them in her books. And really, she didn't put anything in there except mention they existed. So those would be your best bets that I know of at this point. Well, Diana, if you're working through those courses, they literally teach the magician how to work with the dragons. The dragons actually work with the magician and build them up so they're ready to work with those changes and deal with those changes, because the changes, they're going to come, they're going to happen. It's, if you step into those waters, you got to deal with the water. You can't jump in the pool and not get wet, as it were. But there's a difference in jumping in and being a good swimmer and jumping in and not knowing how to swim. So if you're working through the Dragon Magick courses, they will prepare you for that as you progress through them, assuming you do all the work. It's the jumping ahead that gets people in trouble, because people want to work with the ones they view as cool or interesting or hip or whatever the kids want to call it these days, and that's when they shoot themselves in the foot. But if you are interested, I would recommend those courses. They're priced at about the same price you'd find any decent book these days. Let's see. Kevin is just starting to do some deep shadow work with Azazel. His best days are Saturday, but does it really matter what days you work with? Nope, doesn't matter at all. Some traditions use days, but entities really don't have a concept of day, time, or lunar cycle. So you can work with them at any point. I have worked with Azazel every day of the week, every day of the year, even for that matter, with equal results, and even day and night. So you don't have to worry about time of day or day of the week or even month. So you're good to go there. Let's see. Do you have any advice when it comes to facing obstacles in your practice? Yes, actually, I do. When you are faced with an obstacle, first take the time to calm down, meditate, and figure out if you can figure out what the obstacle actually is. That would be the first thing I would recommend. Never equate an obstacle to bad luck, misfortune, or curses. That is, generally speaking, the go-to bad answer for an obstacle. Calm yourself, look at it, and ask yourself, what can I do to overcome this, even if it takes little steps? And just start breaking it down into small things that you can do, even if it's improving a meditation practice, if it's doing an extra spell work in a week, something like that. You can break it down. Those are generally the best way to do it. And most importantly, don't turn your back on an obstacle. Don't run from it. Anytime you run from an obstacle in a metaphysical practice, you only make it worse. And the longer you turn your practice on it, or the longer you turn your back on it, the harder it gets to overcome the obstacle later. Is the definition that what shadow work is? Spelling it out. Okay, shadow work is the process of dealing with internalized issues. So we all have trauma. We all have aspects of ourselves we don't like. We all have things that we've hidden from ourselves, fears, anger, you name it. Anything that you hide from the world and yourself equates what we call shadow. Add to that any just trauma for the life. Life gives trauma. So the first time you do shadow work is always going to be the hardest, because you got to deal with the entire backlog of everything. And you have to face it, and you have to work with it, deal with it, and accept it. You can't just sweep it under the rug and get rid of it. Because here's the thing, everyone there's this new concept where people like want to get rid of the shadow. You can't. The shadow is you. It is you. Um, so working with the shadow, healing the shadow, and accepting everything that comprises that shadow, your fears, your angers, all those things, makes you a wholer, stronger person and magician, and helps you become the truer version of you, if you will. If you were to try and get rid of it, you're literally cutting yourself in half because it makes up a half of you, period. So shadow work is dealing with all those darker sides. We all have it, and there is no actual finishing shadow work. Anyone ever says they did it and finished it, they lied to you, because it is an ongoing life's work. Hope that makes some sense. Komodo also has seen your prior short upload discussing some of your future projects. I, for one, can't wait to know your observations in terms of cryptids and other paranormal phenomena. Awesome, Komodo. Yeah, I actually saw your comment earlier today. I don't think I got a chance to comment back to you. I'm actually looking forward to doing the paranormal and cryptids videos. I really am. D-Chan, hey, good to see you. Maria, we all hit hard spots. We do. In fact, I think right now in the gilded community, I think my status literally is a reminder that life is meant to be a bully. Um, and I've told my daughters this, and I tell my students this. Life's job, its literal job, its purpose for existing is to literally not only push us down, but rub our face into the mud puddle. Um, it is to challenge us and pick on us and bully us until we grow, we get stronger, and we seek to overcome the challenges that it presents. Now, the irony is when you overcome a challenge, when you grow, now it takes more to challenge you, don't it? So it's going to do that. At no point in your life do you hit a point where the challenges stop. They're going to continue to come. The obstacles will continue to come. But with wisdom, experience, and knowledge and growth, you have more tools and ability to overcome the obstacles and challenges easier and quicker. That's the only real difference. Anyone who says they don't need shadow work, they either A, are not a metaphysical person and do not understand the concept, or they think they're smarter than they really are. There's not a human being alive that couldn't benefit from shadow work. If you exist, trust me, you need it. Okay, no problem, GK. Ruben, hey. Do I believe Hecate is the goddess of all witchcraft? No. I've worked with Hecate many, many, many times. I've worked with deities and beings far scarier than her. She is a goddess of witchcraft, not the single sole master goddess of all witchcraft. In fact, I've worked with beings that have scared her, actually. And I don't like working with those beings, but sometimes you got to. The advice was really nice to hear. Thank you. No problem. See, okay, this is one thing I see a lot. People come to Magick thinking Magick is going to solve all life's problems. It's going to be easy street, nothing but champagnes and caviar. No. See, the multiverse and life, they will challenge you. The whole point is for you to grow. And we can't grow if we are not challenged and we do not have difficulties and hard times to overcome. That means the more capable you are, the more it throws at you. So, I mean, I get the comment that it looks like I have the perfect life a lot because people see me, I'm doing what I love here and everything. And I don't talk a lot about my personal life behind the scenes, but truth be told, I've got a lot going on all the time, and life does throw big giant turd burgers at me quite often. Um, and many of you in the gilded community probably have deduced this because you've seen me have to basically reschedule a whole week mysteriously. Um, does magic make it easier to overcome those obstacles and deal with them? Absolutely. Does it actually lower the stress a little? I would say yes, personally, because I know I have a toolbox full of tricks to overcome problems. Therefore, I just tend not to stress as much. But that doesn't mean they just go away automatically. I still have to deal with it, and I have to make sure it gets done. Um, and I am one of those people that when something hits the table, I want to clear it off immediately. So I'm pretty gun ho about it. I try not to let things pile up. um, but many of you also know I'm a bit of a workaholic. I tend to be burning the candle at 12 ends most of the time. So you just, life is going to throw things at you. You got to learn, you got to balance that dealing with stuff with attempting self care in some shape, form, or fashion. For me, my self care is my morning coffee. I do a nice little routine in the morning where I do nothing. That's my daily self care. Currently, me and some friends get together for a game night once a week, get goofy and get weird. That's fun. And believe it or not, actually, these live streams are a little bit of self care. I enjoy really loving getting in here and chatting with you all. It's a big de stressor for me. So, yeah, it's going to kick you in the junk and rub your face in the mud. The question is, how are you going to handle it? Okay. All right. Red Cap, good to see you. Why can't some people accept tough love in the craft? I found the best teachers don't coddle. Um, this is going to sound bad, I know, but in all honesty and all observation, people want the easy road. They're lazy. They don't want to put the time and effort into something. We have a couple generations actually, not just one, and even a culture of instant gratification. No one wants to put in the effort anymore, and that goes with magic. In fact, probably 70% of the emails I get are people wanting me to flip a light switch and turn their life from having to go to work at a good job, by the way, to being so rich and filthy rich that they don't have to do anything anymore. Um, yeah, it's, which I don't do it because, well, it don't work that way, first off. But that's it's a mentality thing. Um, I hope I've taught my daughters that work pays off, and I hope on this channel as I approach magic practically through results, I hope I communicate that to some extent. I hope I do the best I can. Seems to me the path of dragon magic that you teach is a spiritual path of evolution more than it is practical magic. Would that be fair assessment? Actually, I wouldn't call it spiritual at all. I'm not a real spiritual person, Diana. Um, I would call it a path of self empowerment and self improvement and self mastery. It does build the self up, but it is actually also very practical. Every aspect of dragon magic, starting straight from the gates, can actually build up your physical world and life. I've used dragon magic to go from, well, we didn't have, we couldn't pay the bills, period, ever, um, to building up for me and my wife, what is a very comfortable life with a bit left over. And I owe literally everything I have right now to magic. I have approached it practically. I have approached it on a results based practice. I really don't do anything on faith. If I can't track the results, I personally find it useless. Personally, There are plenty of people who have used this path in more of a spiritual side, and they've gotten great results. That's the beauty of Dragon Magic. It is kind of a balance between practical and spiritual. And if you follow it, you will improve yourself. And self mastery is self mastery. It's going to affect you on the spiritual side, work you toward ascent one way or the other, but you don't have to give up the practical side. My entire evolution, magic's been practical. I got closets of journals and research notes that I've used to track this. So I mean, I would say it's actually a bit more practical in how I personally teach it. Um, the spiritual side is definitely there by a long shot. Um, and I do talk about how the spiritual affects the physical world. And but yeah, I mean, even in Dragon Magic 101, we talk about prosperity, building up your finances, and the fact that, in all honesty, if your physical life is shit, you're not going to be able to focus on anything spiritual to begin with. So, I mean, it's pretty practical, I'd say. Hey, Angela, good to see you. Dragon. Oh, the little gem egg things. You okay? I know what you're talking about now. I was lost for a second. I gotta go, Drake. It's been a long day. Take care. Blessings, everyone. Take care, Lilith. Get some rest. Oh crap, we jumped. Let's see. I'm dealing with the realization that the things that I thought I kind of dealt with are coming up again. Like, nope. Then again, I'm trying to maintain a lightheartedness. Okay. That happens. There are times where you will work your way through something. Okay. Think of, we do have issues in our shadow work that is almost layered. Like if you look at a cross section, where rock falls off a mountain, how you have those nice layers. So at your point and place in your life, the layer you're dealing with and the layer you're working on, you get that all cleaned up nicely. You know what I mean? And then you go through life, something's going on, something comes up, and it stirs up the next layer. Okay, now you got to deal with that layer. So some of those things can pop up from time to time, and you're going to have to continue to deal with them. And usually some of the hardest ones come from the people we trust or trusted. I knew some of the shadow work I do come from people who stabbed me in the back that I trusted entirely. But for one reason or another, the memory of that event will come back up during other shadow work later. And it's not the same shadow work per se, even though the root is the same. It's a perspective of it that is something I'm dealing with now. And from that, I gain new wisdom and understanding. So it can happen. It can happen. Those do come up quite a bit. Like I said, you don't get rid of it. It becomes a part of you so that you can review it, examine it, and learn from it continually. Hey, everybody, let's get those likes up. We got 30 people in here watching and only 19 likes. Give me a thumbs up, people. Let's see. Charnu, still live my cup. It is a great reminder in a town where life turns slow. And I would say keep the lightheartedness. Y'all see me joking all the time, okay? I'll admit, you guys get to see the brighter side of Drake because anyone who's seen me on the outside, people know I got a dark sense of humor. I will make a joke out of anything. And everybody's like, you're blocking. No, I ain't blocking. I'm actually accepting the situation, but I know I have two choices on how I react. I can either allow this to tear me down, or I can make a joke and power through and overcome. Guess which one I'm going to do? Remember, self-mastery is about how you choose to respond. Don't react, respond. A reaction is something you do from emotion, out of instinct. You don't think about it. Your mind, your will isn't involved in just a quick reaction. You want to look at all problems and you want to respond to them. You want to think about them consider them, and choose how you respond. Think about that. We'll go a little deep on y'all tonight. Think about that. And humor oftentimes can be a good response. Do I work with Santa Muerte? What are your thoughts about her? It's difficult to find info. I personally do not. And the reason being, some of you already know, I was blessed and honored to be initiated into a particular New Orleans family of voodoo at one point in my life. It's not something I discuss on this channel for many reasons. But Santa Muerte has a very ownershipy kind of personality. And I work with so many different death entities. On the voodoo side, well, heck, let's look at Norse even. We don't even have to talk about that. Odin, Hel, Freya. And they all basically have a very good understanding that should I wish when I go into the great by and by, I can spend a little time with them. Grant you, Valhalla itself, you'd have to earn your way into, but that's a different video. But Freya's Hall, Helheim, these are places I could easily take time and spend. Same thing with many other entities I've worked with. Hades, even. I've worked with Hades. Love him. Santa Muerte is not the sharing kind. And I have had to speak with her and contact her for clients. And she made it very clear that if her and I were to work directly, without me just being the go-between, I would have to shut the door on those others. And that's a big no. And she kind of demands worship. I don't bend the knee for no one. I worship no one. I will work with them as a friend and ally. That's it. So yeah, me and her don't really jive. That said, I do know a lot of people who do work with her and who adore working with her. They are a bit more on the spiritual side. They don't mind that. Different strokes for different folks. It's not really good or bad. It's just not my cup of tea or a cup of coffee, if you will. Plus, her and I don't really jive on certain areas of justice. She's really been well known to get some people who really deserve time behind bars off the hook, and I kind of believe in justice. That's a area I've always been uncomfortable with her. Oh crap! We jumped. Crap. Angela loved Drake's teachings. It's like magic and practical science have hugged and made friendship here. Oh my God, that is the most adorable way of putting it, Angela. I was reading that before I realized what you were saying. I was still waiting for the question. Oh my God, that is adorable. I love it. Jay, get a screenshot of that. That totally needs to be like on a coffee cup or something. I love it. Mugs up, Angela. Oh crap, I need coffee. Hold on. We need coffee before we can mugs up you, Angela. There we go. And for those who've asked, yes, I keep the coffee cup or coffee pot by my desk all day long. We go through several pots a day here. All right, mugs up, Angela. That was amazing. Have you ever tried using the sound of a clock for meditation or? Yes. Actually, let's see if I can get it. Check it out. My wife got me this pocket watch, and it's currently no longer. I need a new battery, but this thing right here, the ticking of it, I loved it for meditation. It also has a nice little, I love you saying forever from my wifey. So I keep this by my desk because the sound itself was reassuring when she was deployed. And I did use the sound for meditation and other things. I love things like that. You can also use, is it a metronome that they use to keep beats with? I think that's the proper name of it. You can also use those. Really great. See, and crap, we jump. I went screw it. This meditation really worked. In the meditation course at the school, we talk about sound meditations, and I freaking love sound meditations. Music, drumming. In fact, we include a few actual audio tracks for you to use in there. Um, some of them are a little hard to get. Um, some funny stories behind getting some of those soundtracks. The weird things I do for this channel and the school. Oh Lord, but yeah, I love sound meditation. See, I suppose I do have a question. I'm still quite early in my practice researching various entities. What would you say is a particularly great way to be respectful to dragons slash entities in a practice? Um, Komodo, that's actually a freaking great question, mate. And there's so many different traditions and everything, it can get complicated. But over the years, I've really boiled it down to be respectful, be honest, be kind, approach them like you genuinely are approaching an individual you want to build a friendship with. Seriously. You don't have to get overly fancy or anything. Get to know them, be respectful, do a little research on them. If you don't know what they like to drink, what do you like to drink? What's your favorite beverage? Share it with them. Okay? If you come to my house, I love me some coffee. I will offer you coffee. It's not just a Southern thing, it's something I will do. I will offer you coffee. You don't like coffee? No worries. What do you like? You want water? I have gone to the store just to get something for somebody because that's what they drink. Dr. Pepper usually seems to be a big one, they say. But entities, they don't really have you offer them your favorite beverage, they're going to take it because you're giving them something you truly love and you're willing to share that with them. That means something within the planes. That means a lot in the planes. Never give them something you want to get rid of. If you don't like it, if you ain't going to eat it and you don't want it, don't offer it because that is now lacking the essence of you willing to share the thing you like with them. See what I'm saying? Um, but that is how I would do it. And Komodo, if you go check out, we have an entities and deities playlist where we do talk about some of the stuff about contacting entities and doing research and approaching them respectfully. You can also, the hailing route, though it's a little more Norse in styling, you can definitely utilize it and flavor it for any entity. You really can if you want. Hope that helps you out a little bit. When I'm working for a client, how do I do? Depends on the entity. Sometimes I will use evocation. Sometimes I will use either astral travel or soul travel, depending on the entity and where they're located. Because some of them you can't get to via astral travel. So I usually use those two methods, depending on the entity, the situation, what's being asked. I'm a big believer in versatility. There's no one tool solves all problems. Angela, you're welcome to put it on a coffee cup. I don't mind. Ah, cool. I hope Jay got that screenshot. Yes, she did. Right there below you, Angela. She got it. See, I'm catching up. Let's see. Please don't give me coffee. I'll poop everywhere. We have a bathroom too. Don't worry about that. See, everybody keeps saying this. Coffee does not have that effect on me. I don't know. In fact, most of my friends don't have that effect. We must just be an odd lot, I guess. We're just all defective, I guess, in some way. Who knows? Did a client ever ask you to contact an entity you were worried about talking to? What entity was it, and were you nervous? If so, that's a fair question. I think so. Okay, yeah, there's a few of them that I really can't talk about, but okay, yeah, there is one I can talk about. So one client did want me to contact Nyx, the goddess of darkness and night, the primordial Titan in Greek mythology. This is an entity I had not particularly worked with. I've heard horror stories. Oh, I've heard the horror stories. I heard how even Zeus himself wouldn't screw with her. So I was a little nervous because at this point in time in my career, really hadn't done anything particularly like this. So I did reach out to her, and I kept it respectful. Conversation went well. There was definitely a presence and a power there, so I could. It was very clear that the stories I heard were built upon some foundation of reason. Um, I was able to speak with her, get some things cleared up for the client, but honestly, have to say I left there really amazed because she returned my respect equally. That's the best way I can put it. And upon preparing to depart, she even invited me to come again on my own to just chat. Um, didn't see that coming. Did not see that coming. But you know, I got some free time after that. At one, sometime in the same year, and I actually did decide to reach out to her just for a chat. Um, and now I have to say, if I choose to reach out to Nix, there's no nervousness now or it's just one of those things. Some entities you just don't know till you reach out. You really don't. So over the years, I've learned, you know, don't try to be too nervous about things. Try to be respectful, be polite, be ready for shenanigans, but be respectful. And, handle it like I would handle any social encounter. Tends to work out pretty well so far. Let's see. A whole trick. Do any dragons or dragon rulers have any food they really like or can't stand? That would generally be bet. As far as food they don't like or can't stand, I can't think of anything. I will say that, like, if you go check out the video on X Boon Well that's on here on this channel, he's a dragon of prosperity. He freaking loves pork rinds, which surprised me. Really did surprise me. But when you think about it, pigs and pork are literally, they contain properties of prosperity in them. So when I thought about it, it really meshes pretty well, which was pretty cool. Um, trying to, you, he's really one of the ones that right off the top of my head that sticks out, and it's just because it's pork rinds, and I find it funny. But generally, the dragons, they will eat anything. They kind of have a preference to just energy. More often than not. So if you just take like a piece of quartz, charge it with energy, and offer it, they're happy as a lark. Um, I have been told by a few students that Ingus Solor seems to love tacos. So I don't know if he's just enjoying Taco Tuesday with them and he gets excited because it's something he gets to do with them. Because personally, outside spicy foods, I do know he loves spicy food, which is a broad category. So maybe that's it. It's the spicy food that makes sense. That's about the ones I can remember right off the top of my head right now. Um, let's see. You've been tasked with heavy resurrection and funerary text. Depends on how you handle it, Red Cap. Really depends because when we're dealing with funerary texts deal with it actually deals with life, not death. That's the simple fact. A funerary text is actually dealing with life, not death. It's dealing with the transition of it. And in that context, you're not really going to run into any issues. So, because most of the entities I work with deal with funerary rites in very varying degrees, and some very, very directly. I've actually had to officiate funerals and do services a lot. So that said, now if you're actually talking about working more on the necromancy side and deal with the actual death energy directly, yes, that can have some side effects if you overdo it for too long. That can. So pace yourself, keep yourself healthy, maintain good energy, exercise, sleep, and even diet can actually affect that. And make sure you are taking care of yourself. And if you need to take a step back and rest, do so, because it can really get screwy when you start dealing with those currents. Hey, AT, glad you can make it, mate. It's understandable. Life happens. We were talking about that earlier tonight, actually. Come on, no problem. That's why we're here, is to have a chat and share some information. There's a children's book called Dragons Love Taco. He actually does really like tacos. They're kind of adorable. I did not know that. That I just learned something. There is a children's book called Dragons Love Tacos. I may have to look this up now. Hey, Mathis, man, how you doing? Wow, long time. Thanks, mate. Thanks. What's up to you? Hope you are doing well. It has been a while. Good to see you. Very good to see you, man. Do you often summon? Actually, I work with the Goetic spirits practically weekly. In fact, if you check, we have a whole playlist on the Goetic spirits. Anytime I'm doing those videos, I'm actually working with the spirit also to make sure that the video is up to snuff for them. So yeah, I work with the Goetic spirits all the time. And Jade is throwing the clocks at me. That means it is time for me to duck out and go. I got a busy schedule tonight. Everyone, this has been an absolute blast. I had a lot of fun. We had a lot of great questions in here tonight, and I really look forward to next week. Hopefully, you all enjoy Tuesday's video. Hopefully, it does justice for y'all wanting to see me in a tinfoil hat, while at the same time we actually approach a very, very, very serious new conspiracy floating around the internet somehow. It's a little weird, but we're going to talk about that, have some fun with that. And it is a metaphysical one, so don't worry. We're not just going down conspiracy lane. It actually deals with what we deal with here on Working Dragon Mystic. Also, keep your eyes out for some of the new content we got coming. And until next time, everyone, you have a fantastic week. Keep doing everything you can to make the progress, even if it's the small steps. Remember, all you got to do is try to do better today than who we was yesterday. And even if it's the small steps, we're still going to do it, okay? We can make mistakes. We can have bad days. It's all right. There's tomorrow. Do everything you can so when you lay down, you know you did what you could. And tomorrow, you're going to hit it just as hard, all right? Take care, and good night, everybody. Bye-bye.